Welcome to Serenity Rising Healing with Cancer. I'm Bron and I want to welcome you to not just a podcast, but to a community. A new way of seeing, feeling and walking through the chaos of cancer. Hello, lovely people, and welcome back. It's Bron here. So today I wanted to share something that's been doing the rounds on social media. A little story that stopped me in my tracks because it captures something so fundamental about how our minds work, especially when we're on a healing journey. Imagine you walk into a cafe. Maybe it's one of those mornings. You know the ones. Your nervous system is a bit dysregulated. Your mind is full and you just need something warm and comforting. The barista looks up and asks, "What can I get you?" And you say, "I don't know, but I definitely do not want a black coffee." The barista waits. "So, what would you like then?" And you repeat, "I just really don't want that black coffee." They shrug, move on to the next customer. And when your order comes up, guess what? It's a black coffee. Now, I know this might sound like a simple metaphor, but stay with me because for those of us who have been doing work around healing, this story speaks to something profound about how our brains process what we focus on. And it's actually backed by real neuroscience. This black coffee theory has been circulating everywhere. And I think it resonates so deeply because it mirrors what many of us are doing in our healing, especially when we're tired, when our capacity is low, and when we're just trying to survive the day. Think about how we often frame our deepest desires. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to feel so exhausted. I don't want to feel broken. I don't want to be stuck here. Every time we do this, we're standing at the counter of life, telling the barista exactly what we don't want, and then wondering why that's precisely what keeps showing up. Now, I want to be really gentle here. This is not about blame. This isn't about you're manifesting your problems because that is not what's happening here. This is about understanding how your beautiful, complex, trying to protect you brain actually works so that you can work with it instead of against it. Let me share some of the research that I've been doing that explains why this happens. And I promise to keep it simple because understanding the science can actually be part of our healing. Now, I am no doctor or scientist, so stay with me here. Back in 1987, a psychologist named Daniel Wagner conducted a fascinating experiment. He told participants, for the next 5 minutes, try not to think about the white bear. And what happened? They couldn't stop thinking about white bears. And here's the part that really matters for us. After the experiment, when they were finally allowed to think freely, they thought about white bears even more than people who'd never been told to suppress the thought in the first place. This is called the rebound effect, and decades of research has confirmed it. And there's some recent work being done. It was published in 2024 by researchers at Cambridge, even showed how this applies to anxiety and intrusive thoughts. Here's what's happening in your brain. When you try to suppress a thought, you're actually activating two systems. One part consciously tries to think of other things. Another part constantly monitors for the bidden thought, which keeps it right at the surface of your mind. It's like having a little voice following you around saying, "Don't think about the pain. You know, the pain. Please stop thinking about that." For those of us healing from trauma, chronic illness, grief, or burnout, this is so important to understand. The more we fight against our difficult feelings, the more present they can become. There's another piece of neuroscience that matters here, something they call the reticular activating system, the RAS. This is a network of neurons in your brain stem that filters the overwhelming amount of information coming at you every single second. Your RAS decides what gets your attention, and here's the key. Your RAS doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. It just tunes into whatever you're focused on. You know how when you learn a new word, you suddenly hear it everywhere, serendipitous? Or when you're pregnant and you see pregnant people everywhere, that's your RAS at work. So when we keep saying, "Don't want to feel anxious," our RAS hears anxiety and starts noticing evidence of anxiety everywhere. It's not malicious. It's just doing its job based on what we've told it what matters. Now here's where it gets really interesting. A 2024 brain imaging study was undertaken, and they looked at what happens when people focus on approach goals, moving towards something positive, versus avoidance goals, running away from something negative. Now, the findings were beautiful because people were focusing on what they wanted reported more positive emotions and greater enjoyment. Those focusing what they didn't want experienced more anxiety. and it was on the images. Now, I do want to pause here because if you're in the middle of something hard, chronic pain, grief, anxiety, recovery, a new diagnosis, I know that shifting focus is not always this simple. Sometimes the pain is so present that not focusing on it feels impossible. Sometimes our nervous systems are so dysregulated that positive thinking feels like a foreign language, especially when you're in the thick of the chaos. I get it because I've been there. After my diagnosis, there were days when all I could do was literally survive. And that was enough. So this isn't about forcing positivity when you're in the depths of chaos. This is about having a tool for when you are ready, for when you have just a little bit of capacity, for when you notice yourself spinning in that I don't wants and you want to gently redirect yourself somewhere else, because healing is not linear. And this is just one tool in your toolkit. So when you do have a little capacity, here's a gentle practice, and I call it the FLIP framework. It's designed to be soft, easy, and to work with your nervous system, not against it. F, feel. This is noticing without judgment. First, simply just notice what's going on. Where are you right now? What's happening in your body? This isn't about fixing anything yet. It's just simple awareness. Maybe there's tension in your shoulders. Maybe there's tightness in your chest. Maybe there's a heaviness down deep in your soul. You might place a hand on your heart or your belly, just acknowledging, I'm here and I notice. Research shows that the simple act of somatic awareness is the first step towards regulation. Now, the next letter, L, stands for label. We're going to label it. We're going to name it. Next, name what you're telling yourself, not with criticism, but with curiosity. Oh, I'm telling myself I don't want to feel this exhaustion. I notice I keep focusing on not wanting to be anxious. Labeling creates a little bit of distance. You become the observer of the thought, not consumed by it. Hearing yourself articulate your thoughts helps regulate emotions through unique neural pathways. The research tells us that. The I stands for interrupt. We want to gently reset. Now we offer the nervous system something different. Choose what feels right for you today. Could be grounding. Feel your feet on the floor. My favorite saying right now is be where your feet are. Name 5 things that you see. This brings you into the present moment. Another could be splashing your face with cold water or holding something cool. This activates your vagus nerve and can shift your state. The next thing you could try is just movement. Shake your hands, roll your shoulders, sway from side to side, because movement helps complete stress cycles. And then, of course, the one we love, breathing. Extended exhales. We breathe in for 4. We can breathe out for 6 and out for 8. There's so many different ways to breathe. We talk about the box breathing. It works. This tells your nervous system you're safe. There's no right choice here. It's just what your body needs in this moment. Now the P stands for pivot. We want to redirect. Finally, when you're ready, and only when you're ready, see if you can gently flip the statement. I don't want to feel exhausted becomes I'm welcoming rest and gentle energy. I don't want to feel anxious becomes I'm inviting moments of calm and safety. I don't want to feel broken becomes I'm allowing myself to heal at my own pace. I don't want a black coffee becomes I'd love an iced vanilla latte, something that is comforting. Notice how the pivot statements are soft. They use words like welcoming, inviting, and allowing. This isn't demanding or forcing or even worse, controlling. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with some thoughts and some questions to think about. You don't have to answer them now. Perhaps just write them down and keep them for later. What black coffee have you been unknowingly ordering at the counter of life? When you listen to your inner dialogue, how often does it focus on what you're running from rather than what you're moving toward? What might it feel like to flip just one of those I don't wants? And here's the last one. What does your vanilla ice latte actually look like? What are you truly longing for? Here's what I want you to take with you today. Your brain is always listening. It's always tuning into what you focus on, and you have more power than you know to gently guide that focus. This is not about toxic positivity. It's about working with your neurology instead of against it. It's about being kind to the brain that's been trying so hard to protect you. So today, my invitation is this. Just catch one of those I don't wants, just one, and see if you can flip it, redirect it towards what you're actually looking for. You deserve to receive what you are truly asking for. If you're looking to explore this a little bit further, I've created something that's a little bit cool and a little bit fun. It's called Serenity Bingo. So rather than having a bingo sheet that is full of numbers that are randomly drawn up the front of a room and you put a stamp on it, we have blank Serenity Bingo cards where you can fill in some intentions that you'd like to experience in the next month, in the next week. It could be putting your feet into the ocean and feeling the sand and the water lap on your feet. It could be having your favorite iced vanilla latte. But what it is we set intentions of what you would like to experience. So we're going to turn those I don't wants into fun intentions, and that you can literally see them on your Serenity Bingo card. And we'll show this on the socials, so you'll be able to check out our Serenity Bingo cards and seeing how we go and experience the things that are important to us, because those moments are what make memories, and that's how we make every day count. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for listening and for doing this sacred work with us, with healing. And remember, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to go slowly, and you are allowed to heal in your own time. You are the CEO of your own body and ecosystem. Be gentle with yourself today. Make every day count. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great having you here. And what I would love you to do is leave a comment or ask a question using my fan link below this episode and on every episode that we post. I would love to hear your thoughts, your questions, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day and bye for now.